I thought the cricket test was starting today, but I guess because New Zealand's been so badly, that would mean that it could be all over by Sunday afternoon. So we've lost the first 2 cricket tests. I think the first one by 8 wickets and the second by 300 and something runs. I think England are our kryptonite to a large extent, particularly when they're in this country for some strange reason. And it's also the third test will be starting in Christchurch tomorrow. Sorry, not Christchurch tomorrow. What do I talk about? In Hamilton tomorrow, which is an interesting venue because it tends to get muggy there. So it's also been, without question, New Zealand's underperformed in this test series. Having said that, and I will have to say that, it's been sold really, really well. Although if you don't turn up on the 4th and 5th day and you've already paid for it, do you get your money back? I don't know. Anyhow, join us on that issue, former New Zealand Test cricketer and cricket commentator John Morrison, who actually I think is in Hamilton. He joins us now. John, welcome to the show. Are you in Hamilton? Did you go there for the test?
No. I'm just back from fishing in the Bay of Plenty, and I'm going hunting in the King Country. So I'm in Hamilton overnight. But no, I'm not going to the cricket. Yes, I wouldn't buy a 5-day ticket, Michael. You certainly wouldn't want one in Wellington. A few guys got the call, lunch is cancelled on Sunday. Yeah, it's been a shocker, hasn't it? But, wasn't it Henry Ford, Mike, who said, if you keep doing the same thing, you usually get the same result?
Yeah.
And we keep picking the same team, and it's sort of, this tour has been like a Tim Saudi last tour of the Pope or something. And it's got more to do with that, and the fact that he should have retired 3 years ago and they should have dropped him anyway. We picked the wrong team, and we've done it for quite a few years. We did it last year. Remember, Australia gave us a hiding at the Basin, and we went in with 4 seamers. We're absolutely possessed with this. Kugelheim, Saudi, someone, what have you, I can't even remember offhand. And Nathan Lyon, their off-spinner, although they've got a very good pace attack, bowled us out. So we went to Christchurch and we picked the same team. And exactly the same thing happened. Now, this year, we reversed that because we had the first game in Christchurch, picked 4 seamers, got a complete hiding, and came to Wellington and picked the same team and got an even bigger hiding. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we did so well in India, but if you analyse it, Michael, we picked people that they don't really like picking. Like Ajaz Patel a few years ago got 10 wickets for the whole Indian team out in Mumbai. We came back to Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui to play Bangladesh. It was hot and dry and turning. We played 4 seamers. They played their spinners, because that's all they've got, and bowled us out and won the test. But we stuck with the 4 seamers and desperately needs spinners. Same thing happened in India. Santner wasn't playing in the second test.
That's
Henry
right.
pulled up with a bum leg and said, oh, for Christ's sake, mate, get your gear on. You're in.
Yep.
As it cried. 13 wickets later, he's won the bloody test for us. He hasn't appeared since. And even the Palms have a left-arm spinner. And, we're being thrashed. So, no, we don't pick people to drop them. Well, why isn't it Richard Hadley playing?
Can I ask the question of you, though? Who selects the New Zealand cricket team? Is that straight down to New Zealand coach Gary Stead? Or is that some sort of team environment?
Well, I think it's a combination of the leadership. But in my opinion, with the coach, in all due respects, I'm going to bag him now anyway, is that he's not coaching, he's being friends. It's the old parenting thing. You've got to be a parent, in my opinion. It's great to get on with your kids and relate really well, but you're still the parent. And just like in sports teams, I think you've got to be the coach. And you've got to make really hard decisions at the top end. Saudi hasn't been up to it. Not only is he not up to it, No, and he wastes the new ball because it doesn't go to someone else. Or Ben
Yeah.
Sears, that was the other guy I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuffs everything up. And I've got to say that Sally coming in and having a slog when we're trying to save a test, as if it was a Sunday afternoon, with a keg on the back of the ute, was outrageous. But everyone's clapping him and giving him a farewell and what have you. And we lost sight of the fact that we're just being absolutely thrashed. But no one will change anything.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's bizarre that there's no question at all in the mind of Gary Stead, but also of New Zealand cricket, that this is Tim Southee's swan song. Now, you underperform in 2 tests in a row, you're still going to get the 3rd test irrespective, just because it's this is our destined swan song for you. And essentially, you're right, he's not going to take any wickets, he's not going to score any runs, and we're playing with 10 men plus Southee. But that's something else I wanted to share with you. We'll ask you too. We all know, I think every New Zealander knows that this is the wrong team. What is New Zealand's obsession with seamers? Why don't we play spinners in New Zealand, John?
Well, it's a long-standing one, Michael, and it's a good question. And I think we lack flair and we lack enterprise, and we do what we've always done. And dare I say it, and they won't talk to me, I won't send an invite again, but that permeates right from the top of New Zealand cricket down. And if you say things or have an opinion or think that you should move on and what have you, one example was Bruce Edgar, and they moved him on in a hurry from selecting because I think they felt threatened by him, Michael. You know the old story. You finish up with people that'll do what they're told, as opposed to people. Now look at England, stuffy old England, the MCC, the whole works, the bacon, eggs, tie. Now you'd think that they'd be the last to realise that things weren't going well. But what did they do? They appointed Brendan McCullum as coach.
Yes,
and what's happened? They're a different bloody team.
Yeah.
Now, they'd be, go back 10 years, they'd be poking around and like us.
Yeah.
But now they come out and say, bugger you, we're going for you. And we're attacking. We're attacking in the field. We're attacking with the bat. And, we'll either win or go down in a blaze of glory.
Well, and they're mostly winning. I mean, they lose the occasional ones, but you're right, they've turned it around. So I'm just thinking, though, we've just, forgive me for thinking this, but we went to India.
I don't think too seriously.
Well, we went to India. We beat India 3-0 with essentially, apart from the first day when we had O'Rourke, I think, and Henry at their best, at their finest. We beat India in India on spinning pitches with spinners. Patel, Santner, Sodhi, and then the part-timer as well. Why wouldn't we... England, on the other hand, couldn't handle India at all, and the spinners when they toured that country. Why wouldn't New Zealand have worked out, in actual fact, we should be producing spinning pitches for this particular tour of England, because they can't handle spin and we can?
Well, that's a very logical question. Venue tries to produce exactly what they produced last year. So that never changes.
No, I think it's bizarre. At the moment, we've got 2 very good fast bowlers in Henry, who's done very well. He's probably the exception to the rule. And O'Rourke when he's in form. Is the stocks are pretty bare after that, John?
Well, they're not bad. See, I think Nathan Smith's got a good future, but I fear that if they're going to make a change, they'll drop him and play Southee. And, of course, Southee takes the new ball, so it's another opportunity lost.
Yeah.
And I also think Ben Sears, when he's fit, is pretty useful. I also can never understand why we've got a couple of guys that can whistle it through at 150, and that's Ferguson and Milne, and they never get a look in. And when a guy's going well, like Brook or Root or whatever, it'd be nice to whistle a few around his ears and say, "Hang on, pal, this is not going to be that healthy for you." But we've got no firepower like that, and even our fields are very conservative. It's missionary position field. Michael, sorry about the term. We desperately need enterprise and initiative.
We do.
And we haven't got it.
Well, we're looking in the wrong place, I guess. John, can I ask a question of you? As an ex-Test cricket player, do you get free tickets to Test matches?
I'm allowed to apply for one game.
What, one game in a Test series?
Yeah, in a season.
In a season?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fortunately, I'm a life member of Wellington, so that gives me a ticket to the Basin, and that's eligible for every game there. So I've got a bit of a double whammy. But the other thing is, and this is I was involved with the Basin a lot, Basin Reserve Trust, Council, Cricket Wellington, etc. And we had very formal lunches with ties and what have you, and invited, the POM visitors, and always had a past team arrive, but what have you. But now, to be blunt, the whole Norwood room is full of wives and girlfriends and children. It's like a bloody crash. So, and there's no dress code to speak of.
No, I understand. Oh, they don't make cricket like the old days. All right.
No, they don't want old bastards like me stuff.
No, they don't. You're meant to be out the back somewhere, sort of rooting around, and then finally, and shuffling off.
Yeah,
they will recognise you in the program, though, when you're dead, John.
Oh, yeah, well, I might get a mention. I'll miss it, though. Never mind.
Listen, mate, thanks very much for joining us. Who's going to win, by the way?
Oh, well, England might play most of their staff. So they'll probably go in with a second 11 or a third 11, but they'll probably win anyway. I suppose we might save face a bit and do this and do that, but the way we've played has been... And to be blunt, Hamilton can be very boring, the pitch. Someone can go out there and block all bloody day, but the good thing about the English, at least it's entertaining. They're whistling stuff into the crowd. So it would be hard to see if they play the full England side, we'll get another hiding.
All right, John, nice to talk to you. Have a great weekend and catch up with you next week. Thank you so much for joining us, mate. Appreciate your time. John Morrison, former Test legend. Mystery, they called him. I don't know why they called him that. Somebody will explain why. Now, just very quickly, though, England have a New Zealand coach. They have a New Zealand captain and outstanding all-rounder, probably the world's leading outstanding leading all-rounder, Ben Stokes, born in Christchurch, obviously. McCallum, obviously, is the coach. How do we lose those guys? I don't know.